Hey folks, how's it going? My name is Dustin Cormier. Welcome to How to Rock Astrology. Today we are having a little convo about the type of person who has the Sun in Cancer with Mars in Sagittarius. So to learn a little bit more about Mars and Sagittarius, you can check out my Mars and Sagittarius video at the start of this playlist. Now, the Sun in Cancer is this is a jive that does work for this Mars, especially because Mars is the dispositor of Mars in Sagittarius is Jupiter, and the dispositor of the Sun in Cancer is the Moon, and Mars and the Sun already are friends. Mars is friends with its sign ruler, Jupiter here, and the Sun is friends with the Moon, which rules Cancer. So there's a lot of positive energetic richness available here. You'll notice when I say that, what do I mean by them being friends? Notice how all of the fire and water signs are ruled by four planets, and these planets are all friends, okay? Because they rule the same elemental nature of us, which is the fire and water, which kind of is from within. Earth and air are more about like data and history and things outside of ourselves, in the mind and ideas. Whereas Jupiter, the Sun, Mars, and the Moon are all best friends, and they all relate to what we are, not to archetypes per se. Jupiter's kind of about archetypes, but it's like how do we relate to the archetypes? Human archetypes, not mercantile things. Like that's more of a Mercury archetype. Jupiter's more about how do I express myself as a human. So the imaginative Mars in Sagittarius, the excitable Mars in Sagittarius, which is ambitious. It's ambitious to learn about humans, to learn and glory and philosophy and enjoyment of life in a lot of ways. The Sun in Cancer also has a deep desire to express this enjoyment of life through humans in particular, through people, through sentiment, through love, and through relationships. Human psychology, mysticism, the openness of my heart to your heart, and the shared place of heart opening. This is what Cancer Sun really looks like in a lover. Looks for in a lover. There's a sentimentality, and it's a good place for the Sun. It's athletic. The Sun in Cancer knows how to build a foundation for the Sun, because that's like what Cancer is. In the same way that the fourth house is a foundation for the whole chart, Cancer is also a foundational energy. It's the Sun in the summer solstice. It's the Sun at its greatest peak. So there's an athletic energy that's good for doing some bumping and grinding. And the Mars in Sagittarius is equally excited about all these different types of bumping and grinding that we can do. And it expands upon the self. It's not necessarily doing it for the lover's sake, which is actually a good thing for the Sun and Mars. The king wants to rule based on the nature of of what's best for the country, of what's best for the king, what's best for the nation. The king is the Sun in the chart, and the Sun here being in Cancer is learning how do I best relate in my expression and my projection and what I'm inspired by, my ambitions. So they're all coming from within what I am, what I'm good at, what feels good to me. So they look for a lover that works for them. Not just a lover that is enticing. Not just a lover that has the artifice of things that might help us. The Sun in Cancer wants somebody who really relates to us, who can give us the feeling of comfort and familiarity, and can bring us to our best in a lot of ways. And the Mars in Sagittarius is willing to cut through lovers until they find the one that fits this bringing out the best in yourself. So this is a person with a good capacity to find a good lover, and also to be real, The Mars can be cutting here because it's in the 6th house from the Sun in Cancer. Sun is in Cancer. Sagittarius, Mars, is 6 houses away from that Sun. So the Mars here can be very cutting and discerning and refining and enjoyable and even explorative. But this is all for the sake of making the deep connections, the deep soul connection that the Sun in Cancer is trying to do. This person, you might date a lot while you're younger, sow a lot of wild oats, but it's in order for you to learn how you can best approach a relationship, what's wrong with how you approach a relationship, and you base it all on your experience, and you enjoy that experience. It causes you to want to go out and enjoy those experiences more, and to eventually enjoy exploring with one particular devoted lover, finding out all the dimensions and angles of how to enjoy keeping it juicy while also being devoted and committed to this one person. It's one familiar person who brings out the best in you. So this combines sentimentality of Cancer, the Sun in Cancer, with the optimistic idealism, a rather cutting criticism of Mars and Sagittarius, which leads both to the guidance of like a discipline, a strong channel for the mutual relationship energy, and a firm grip on the emotions in a certain way, and in each other doing things that brings out the best emotional quality in an explorative way, in a buoyant way. So those are all pretty darn good qualities to have in a lover. And these two do jive well together, like I said. The commitment and bond that the Sun in Cancer seeks relates to the idealism, there's a devotional nature in Mars and Sagittarius. It wants to have lots of little things, like it's a scattered energy, but the things that it does, like it's got its hand in many pies. This Mars in Sagittarius, it enriches itself by exploring and having its hands in many pies, many types of experiences. And all of these different experiences are ultimately showing the many sides of yourself, the vessel of love that you're going to carry on in any relationship that you're going to have. Cancer's not self-interested. They're actually interested in how I can best help you and best support you, because I know that will give me security when I give myself in support to you, and I'm hoping that you will also show affection and adoration and give your support to me and to secure my feelings. I want to do that for you and nurture you so that you can feel nurtured by me and that I will feel secure in that sort of love. Once that's secured, then the Mars in Sagittarius spins the wheel and even plays and is kind of like spicy and competitive with the lover, and not necessarily in a bad way. You know, it's likely in a way that is it's like competitive, and it's sort of like a tomboyish, childish, like let's walk, like I bet I can walk this line, I bet I can walk across this fence and you can't. Oh, what do you mean I can't, huh? And then it's like they can have that pushy enjoyment, but it's always for the sake of bonding. It's always for the sake of increasing the love of the relationship. It's a delicious, cute energy in a lot of ways. Now, that was my own sort of rendition of this archetype. Now, I want to read a little excerpt from Erotic Astrology talking about the Sun in Cancer. After we talk a bit about the erotic psychochemistry of Cancer Sun, we're going to relate it to the Mars being in Sagittarius and have a combined reading through this book of both of these. So for now, this is the Sun in Cancer in bed. The Cancer lover makes a wonderfully imaginative sweetheart who loves to kiss and cuddle. Both shy and sensual, although the Mars in Sagittarius actually makes them very demonstrative and dramatic and even pushy and very driven. But there's a shy sensuality to the Cancer Sun no matter what. So you can be passionate on the one hand and affectionate and tender and loving on the other hand. Moreover, you are enough of a sexual athlete to please your partner fully. Cancer just loves to fuck and loves to like get the enjoyment of us fucking and peaking and like enjoying it, and like they just are so sensual, and the sensuality is always in connection to their feeling of wanting to be lusted and to have somebody just wanting to grip their body for its own sake. All it takes is a little encouragement to help you overcome your fear of rejection. That's true of most Cancer Sun, right? For this person, for you, having Mars in Sagittarius, I don't think that you need any encouragement to help you get over your fear of rejection. Because thankfully, Mars in Sagittarius, refuses to fail. Or failure is not an option for them. And if they do fail, B, they can always take it as, they can chalk it up to learning how to explore, to be with people, to open up what they are to the world. And if the world doesn't accept them, if this person doesn't accept them, somebody will, because I'm buoyant and I feel the buoyant capacity of myself to engage with others. So if you don't like me, I'm going to find somebody who does eventually. So I'm just going to keep being myself, applying myself until I find somebody who digs what I am. So there's not really a fear of rejection in this particular type of shy, reserved Cancer personality. This shy reservedness just simply comes through with a subtle magnetism and enjoyment, but it's a pickiness and it's a discernment, and it doesn't go right away. It kind of does. Like the body energy is confident enough to just permeate other people's energy fields just by sticking your chest out and pushing and like, can I buy you a drink, and these sorts of things. It's just that all of this bonding may be going on the surface, and you might even bang that night. You might even bang 3 nights in a row. But like there's a counter going on in the Sun and Cancer's mind. How much am I really enjoying this? Is this experience going to give me the fulfillment that I think it will? Sun and Cancer is always thinking about that at every little step, every permeation of boundaries that the Mars and Sagittarius is very willing to do. In love and romance, as in everything else in life, you cannot be rushed or coerced. The crab is old-fashioned in and out of the bedroom, and both males and females of this type want to be wooed and courted, and shown a little bit of the foreplay and drama and even romance and sentimentality before they are one, although they'll be excited and Mars and Sagittarius about it the whole time. You want to be cared for and cherished, and you like caring for and cherishing your beloved in return. In bed, Cancer Sun is as concerned with pleasuring their partner as they are about their own pleasure. The firepower that can be aroused in you is more likely to manifest as a series of fantasies and less as an exercise in sexual acrobatics. Although, truth be told, with the Mars and Sagittarius here, there's probably a lot of just athletic fucking and rogering just for its own sake. You enjoy making love and being made love to. The lover who engages your mind and imagination with humor and lively conversation also enlivens your spirits. It's very true of Cancer as well as the Mars and Sagittarius. In the crab's world, sex and lust often equal love and its nurturing aspects, such as home and hearth. The caring partner who appeals to and satisfies your deep-seated need for security is likely to unleash a volcanic eruption of sensual delights and trust and security that just blisters through with this affection and ardent love. So this Cancer in particular takes all that and is like so ready for it because the Mars in Sagittarius has this fiery energy towards this, ultimately towards this sentimental connection that makes them feel secure. So the turn-ons and turn-offs of Cancer. The crab's favorite fantasy generally includes good food and great sex. Any artful combination of these two sensual activities is virtually guaranteed to turn you on. A private encounter that begins in the kitchen and ends with you feeding each other delectable little snacks in bed eventually can turn into an erotic free-for-all. You enjoy having your chest stroked. The breast and chest is the erogenous zone of Cancer. And you respond passionately to oral and manual manipulation of the nipples. Cancer's fascination for moonlight and water makes a seaside outing where you can hear the pounding of the ocean as you make love the perfect choice for an erotic getaway, especially with this Mars in Sagittarius wanting to go on little adventures. If the trip to the ocean's not feasible, maybe a nature sounds machine in your bedroom can evoke many of the same feelings. Cancer loves the art, like little sensual things that brings them into this fantasy world that's in their minds, and they might even like a little bit of that combined with actual going out to those places because of the Mars and Sagittarius. Mars and Sagittarius likes the real thing. They want to really get down there, feel it in their senses, and push themselves to push past beyond the familiar limits that the Cancer often enjoys. The book often actually says that there's a split in the psyche here between the familiarity of Cancer and the explorativeness of Sagittarius Mars. Cancer is a deeply private sign and needs to feel safe before they fully reveal themselves. Even if the competitive, just sort of Mars and Sagittarius has the lover in their grips, there's some layers that the Cancer Sun will not reveal right away. A prospective lover who comes on too strong or pushes you into intimacy before you're ready is, even for the Sagittarius, it's not a challenge that they want to take on. The Mars feels challenged to go deeply into a lover who is an aristocratic, refined, not too pushy, not too brutish person. You're too sensitive and romantic to respond to a blunt sexual appeal, although, again, the Mars and Sagittarius might be intrigued by that sort of pushiness, just as long as it's not just sexuality or just like that competitiveness for its own sake. It's the Cancer that needs a bit more sentiment than that. For you, a sense of physical and emotional well-being is a must. Without a partner who understands this, you're likely to log a great deal of time inside your pesky crab shell. Although, again, Mars in Sagittarius is so blunt and honest about its needs and desires and wants, and is so, like, Mars in Sagittarius is a great place for Mars. It knows what it likes, and it applies what it likes, no matter what, right from the start, instinctively. You're going to see me expressing my Mars the whole time, the whole way through. And that means that what I need to feel secure and to go far is the Cancer Sun, is the sentiment, is this closeness. So you generally are wearing that on your sleeve whenever you're with people, showing that it's the restless Mars is competent and fearless. But you'll say, you're not afraid to say, like, I'm a sentimental guy. What can I say? I'm a walking on the beach holding hands kind of guy, and like just doing sweet little things like, I'm a romantic guy. What can I say? And it's like you're confidently saying something through the Mars and Sagittarius, but that is like showing the content of your soul, which is like shy and reserved and kind of like wanting to have these deep sentimental experiences. It's just that it's coming through this Mars and Sagittarius that you wouldn't expect to, have that quiet, endearing Cancer soul. It's like you get all the soft fuzziness of the Cancer Sun with all this risky enjoyment and the bristling virility of the Mars and Sagittarius, the excitement. I think it's a sexy vibe. I'd love to meet someone like this. So, after having spoken a bit about the Sun and Cancer here, let's now dive into the same book. We're going to see a reading of how having Mars and Sagittarius alters and changes our reading of the erotic nature of the Sun and Cancer. This is Sun in Cancer with Mars in Sagittarius. This combination often manifests as a deep-seated inner conflict. Sagittarius wants to travel, excitement, and adventure, but Cancer craves roots and the safety of a secure home life. Despite a seemingly traditional attitude towards sexuality, possibly a conservative vanilla sort of let's just get together and just bang it out. We don't got to be too fancy. It's just like even just banging on different pieces of furniture is good enough. We don't need to change it. It's just as long as this thing that we do is real and connected to the bonding that we've been trying to always build. So despite that traditionalism towards sexuality, you do long to be swept away on a wave of passionate, ecstatic lovemaking. Spontaneity and fun turn you on just as readily as the most ardent foreplay. It's just like, let's just switch it up. And like, even if it's the Cancer that enjoys foreplay and the sentiment, the gesture, and all these things, and all the cuteness that like the licking up to the legs, right, getting close to that special place, and all the squeezing and biting and just the passion and all these things. And Cancer Sun really digs all these. But if there's ever a point when the lover just kind of just pushes them up to the couch, just diddles out there, and kind of plays around down here, it's the hips of the Cancer Sun Sagittarius Mars person will just pop right out and just be like, all right, let's fucking do this thing. You know, it's not just the foreplay that the Cancer loves. It's every now and then, just give me a spank just for its own sake. Just enjoying juicy sexual things for their own sake. Your ideal bedmate understands your paradoxical nature and appeases your thrill-seeking side by lovingly luring you into uncharted sexual territory within a committed relationship. That's a perfect gumball picture of this whole sign combination. The intuitive lover, whose lack of inhibitions behind closed doors matches your own, knows what to do to satisfy your strong, secret cravings. Damn, that was a juicy one. I don't always get a boner from reading these, but if this is your combination, feel free to comment and say hi. That's a good, juicy one and probably would work well for my chart. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Astrology. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys dug. You know, if you feel like it and if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave me a comment, tell me what you think. And if you really enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, because I've always got more fun, juicy things like this coming out in the world of How to Rock Astrology. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you guys on the next thing that you decide to check me out with. Take care.